No, just a minute. Let me open the PDF first. Okay. Yeah. So today we are going to start from the economic and non-economic zone of production. Before starting the new thing, your problem from the last class. What's your problem from the last class? Any problem from the production? So this part we discussed already. Okay. As you are not asking any question, let me start the new thing. Yeah. So this is the economic and non-economic zone of production. There are so many sound in my locality because today is the inauguration of puja. Now look. Um, First of all, this green line is the isoquant. Okay, try to understand this green line, these two green line, these are the normal isoquant. We are measuring labor on the horizontal axis, we are measuring capital on the vertical axis. So these are the isoquant, downward sloping convex isoquant. Now after some time the isoquants are becoming positive. Look, positively sloped, this one, or from that side this and that. So these are positively sloped. Can you tell me why they are positively sloped? Why isoquants are becoming positively sloped? Just make a try.
Ma'am, because of when L and K both rises and the output also rises.
Yes, look at the slope. Then it will be easy for you. Look, this is the slope of isoquant. Okay. So when we say that isoquant is downward sloping, we say that it is the second stage of production. MPL is downward sloping. So MPL, obviously MPL is positive and MPK is also positive. So the ratio is a positive with a negative sign. So it is downward sloping. And we know after a certain level of employment, labor is MPL is becoming negative, right? So when MPL is negative, say MPL is negative, then MPL, MPK with a negative sign, that total thing is becoming positive.
Yes, ma'am.
Huh? So from that point, your slope of isoquant will be positive. Similarly, if you are going to employ more and more capital, after a certain level of employment, MPK will be negative. Okay, just like MPL, for MPK also we are getting the same logic for MPK. Okay, so after a certain level of employment of capital, MPK will be negative. Huh? So in that case also your slope will becoming positive one. Okay, so if MPL is positive, then MPL is negative, then isoquant will be positively sloped. If MPK is negative, then also isoquant will be positively sloped. Do you get the point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now look, there is a certain point when MPL is equal to 0. Okay, because it's initially it's downward sloping but positive, then it's 0, then it's negative. So when MPL is 0, then the slope is 0. 0 by something is 0. On the other hand, when MPK is 0, just like MPL, when MPK is 0, then something by 0 is infinite. So what happened with the isoquant? Initially the isoquant is downward sloping. If you are employing more and more labor, then initially the isoquant is like that. It's convex. After a certain level, the slope is 0. Then after, MPL is negative, so the isoquant is becoming positive. Okay, this is the axis. Huh? Similarly, here also isoquant is convex. At this point, the slope is infinite because mpk is 0. Then after mpk will be negative. And in that case, your isoquant will be positively sloped. Okay, so this is the shape of your isoquant. If you get the total stretch of the marginal product curve, is that shape of isoquant okay for you?
Yes, ma'am, clear.
So if I draw another one like this,
Ma'am,
obviously, yes,
ma'am, can you repeat that?
yes, I cannot hear you properly.
Ma'am,
Yes,
ma'am, am I audible now?
yes, yes, yes.
Ma'am, that MPK part,
Hmm.
ma'am,
Yes.
please repeat it once more. Ma'am, please
Oh, that MPK.
repeat that
Okay.
part once more.
Yes, yes, I understand. The MPK. MPK, look, the marginal product has the same property. It may be for labor, it may be for capital. Okay. So marginal product has the same property, the law of diminishing marginal productivity. This is true for both labor and capital. Look, the law is not for labor only. Huh? Look at this law. Law of diminishing marginal physical return. There is no name of law. When we are explaining that as it is in the short run, we explain it with respect to labor. But the law has no name of labor. So it is true for each and every factor of production. Okay. So as it is true for the labor, it is also true for the capital, right? So like that, if mpk, after when you are going to employ more and more unit of capital given the fixed amount of labor, if you are employing more and more unit of capital, mpk is also falling, and after a certain level mpk will be 0, and then after mpk will be negative, just like it, because this is also following the law na. So based on that, your isoquant will be initially it's convex, then it is infinitely sloped, and then it is positively sloped. So the line is becoming this. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the shape of the isoquant. Any other question? Okay. So look, now I am coming back to my diagram. So this is the green lines are my isoquants. Now look, there are a certain points on each of the isoquant where the curve is just started to shift. That means from where the isoquant is becoming positively sloped. Okay, that means along, for example, if you take this point, at this point your MPL is equal to 0. In this part mpl is positive, here mpl is negative, but just at this point mpl is 0. Do you get my point? Just at this point mpl is negative, so that the slope of the isoquant is 0. At this point mpl is 0. Just at this point mpl এত sound আসছে না, ভীষণ distracted হচ্ছে. At this point mpl is equal to 0. Before that mpl was positive, after that mpl will be negative. Just at this point mpl is equal to 0, and as mpl is equal to 0, slope of isoquant is also 0. Okay, so this is the point from where the isoquant will be positively sloped from negatively sloped one. Is that okay? Is that point okay? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're
Okay, it's
audible.
okay, okay.
Yes, ma'am, okay.
Now look, is that point clear, that what is the significance of this particular point?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh. So the same thing is true for these isoquant. So these are the points where your MPL is equal to 0. Similarly, you are getting some points on these isoquants where your MPK is equal to 0. Okay, so if you join all those points, like from origin to the with the origin, the points where MPL is equal to 0, if you join all those points with a line, the line is like this, that yellow one. Similarly, if you join origin with the points on the isoquant where MPK is equal to 0, then you will get another line like this. This is another yellow line. Okay. Now the question is, why we need these lines? Because look, in this region, for example, in this region your MPL is negative. So if MPL is negative, producers are not interested to come here, just like short run explanation. Okay. Similarly, in this region, MPK is negative. Again, producers are not interested to produce in this region in the long run. Hmm. So these two yellow lines are dividing the area where producers are interested to be from the area where producers are not interested to be. Do you understand the importance of these yellow lines?
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, can you please repeat that part?
Yes. I'm telling you that look at this region where your isoquants are positively sloped, like this. Why it is positively sloped? Because MPL is negative. And from our short run analysis, we know if MPL is negative, it's just like stage 3. So if MPL is negative, that means you are going to employ more and more labor and it will give you lesser and lesser output. As a rational producer, you are not interested to produce here. With the same reasoning, you are not interested to produce here because here MPK is negative, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Ah, so these two are the areas where producers are not interested to go. And this is the area where producers are interested to produce. Okay. So these two yellow lines are just dividing the area where producers are interested to produce and the producers are non-interested to produce. Okay. So
Okay,
this is
ma'am.
the importance of these two yellow lines. It is just dividing the area. Hmm. It's just a fence type of thing.
Ma'am,
Producers are not interested to go beyond this fence. Yes.
ma'am, where the MPL is negative, then DKDL is positive. That's
Hmm.
clear. Ma'am, for the positively sloped isoquant, their MPL is negative. Then,
Yes.
according to the previous deduction, where we do the relation of short run curves, here the situation tree is like that MPL is negative, and in that part we uh, left out that region as MPL is negative, cancel out. But here, why it is economic zone?
No, it is not. It is. We are also going to cancel it. But this region is possible. This region is available. Now, whether you have to choose this region, this is your decision. But according to, if you are a rational producer, you should not come here. But this area is available to you.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
This is the availability, just like stage 3. Stage 3 is also available to the producer in the short run, but producer is not interested to go there. Okay, so it's just like that. This is the possibility. You can come here, but you are not interested to come here because MPL is negative. But possibility is there, na? So like this, MPK
Yes, ma'am.
is so MPK is negative here. So you are not interested to go there, but the area exists. So that is why you need these yellow lines, which is just dividing the area where you are interested to go and where you are not interested to go. Hmm. So name of these two yellow lines are called the ridge lines. Okay, RIDGE, ridge lines. So the lower one is the lower ridge line and this one is the upper ridge line. Okay. So the ridge line is dividing the area where the producers are interested to produce from the area where producers are not interested to produce. Hmm. So the area where producers are interested to be, this area is called economic zone of production. And the area where the producers are not interested to go is called non-economic zone of production. So ridge line is dividing the economic zone of production from the non-economic zone of production. Now along the lower ridge line, your MPL, along the lower ridge line, your MPL is equal to 0. Okay, and along the upper ridge line, understand, it's along the upper ridge line, your your MPK is equal to 0. Okay, so this is the feature of the ridge line.
Ma'am,
Hmm? Yes.
ma'am, ma'am, are the ridge lines joining all those points of the isoquants where MPL and MPK are 0?
Yes. That is the feature of ridge line. You have to join the points where MPL is equal to 0 with the origin. Because at the origin also MPL and MPK both are 0. That is the starting point of your marginal product curve.
Okay, ma'am.
Any other question? These are very much conceptual, so make your concept clear. So many noise are coming now. From 5 o'clock in the morning, first Shanai, then Moishashur Mordini, and now Rabindra Sangeet.
Ma'am, which puja? When to say the
Durga Puja.
name?
Durga Puja.
No, then anything name?
Name? Oh no, nothing. Just it's a very popular in this area.
Okay.
And the last year Mamata Banerjee came here to inaugurate it. This year maybe anyone else is coming. So it's like the weightage is so high. That is why so noise is coming.
Yes, ma'am, understood.
So this is the economic and non-economic zone of production. Huh? Now I'm going to the next one. Yes, look, these things are already written here. DKDL is minus MPL by MPK. If MPL is equal to 0, then DKDL is equal to 0. If MPK is equal to 0, then DKDL is infinite. Okay, so we already discussed it, but it is written neatly, that much. Okay, now as from production, so many questions are coming. So this is one question. Look, this is called fixed coefficient production function. This is also in our syllabus. Huh? Fixed coefficient production function. So what is how it looks like? Fixed coefficient production function. It is like this. Q is equal to minimum of L by A, K by B. So look, apparently it's very difficult to understand, but it's very easy to understand actually. Look, Q will be minimum of L by A and K by B. Of these two, which one is minimum? Q is equal to that. Like if L by A is less than K by B, then Q is equal to L by A. If L by A is greater than K by B, then Q is equal to K by B. So out of these two, which one is minimum? Q is equal to that. Okay. So this is the feature of the fixed coefficient production function. And for the fixed coefficient, for this part, I refer variant. So many types of production functions are there. You can just go through it, you understand it easily, very easily written, lucidly written. Now, what is if it is like this, so what is the feature? How can you explain it logically? Look, say L by A is less than K by B. So the production is equal to L by A. That means L and K both are perfect substitute. Okay, like L by A is less than K by B means Q is equal to L by A. That means to produce the quantity, you don't need capital. You are substituting capital by labor, 100%. That means labor and capital, they are perfect substitute. Okay. So in that case, okay, just forget about that. Just look, we are, if the fixed coefficient production function is there, that derive the total product, marginal product, average product, and draw them. This is the question. Maybe some university question. Now, what will be the shape of isoquant? We are going to draw everything from this coefficient function. And look, this coefficient function is of CRS. That means constant returns to scale. Okay. Now look. Q is equal to minimum of L by A, K by B. So L by A is less than, say L by A is less than equal to K by B. Then we know Q is equal to L by A. Up to this point, is it okay? Up to just this point.
Yes, ma'am.
So if Q is equal to L by A, then APL and MPL. Look, APL is what? APL is equal to Q by L, right? So Q by L, that will be 1 by A. What is MPL? DQ DL. That will be also 1 by A. So that is why it is written as APL is equal to MPL is equal to 1 by A. So it's a constant. MPL is constant. Now, if just opposite, L by A is greater than K by B. Look, here is no greater than equal to, because that equal to is already included here. So, if L by A is greater than K by B, then you know Q is equal to K by B. Fine. And in that case, MPL will be 0 because there is no L. But APL is there because Q by L, you will get K by B by L, right? K by B into L. So this is here. K by B divided by L. So that will be K divided by B into L. Okay. So you have one APL here. Now, once you have it, you have to draw, because question is like that. What will be the marginal product and what will be the shape? Draw them. Marginal product and average product. So we are going to draw these two, marginal product and average product. First, this is your MPL. In the horizontal axis, you have to measure labor. On the vertical axis, it's MPL. Done. Now, if L is 0, okay, then APL is MPL is equal to 1 by A. So it is here. MPL is equal to 1 by A. Then after your, then it is like this. As it is 1 by A, so it's a parallel to the horizontal axis. It's a constant one. And if L by A is greater than K by B, that means you have employed a significant amount of labor. So that now L by A is greater than K by B. That means you are in this stretch. Here, your MPL is 0. Before that, your MPL is 1 by A. If you are employing relatively lesser amount of labor, so that L by A is less than equal to K by B, for that part, MPL is equal to 1 by A. So it's a constant one, that is why parallel to the horizontal axis. Then after, if you have employed already a significant amount of labor so that L by A is greater than K by B, then your MPL is becoming 0. And as it is 0, that means this is just your horizontal axis. So the king point, that means the point from where the curvature is changed, that is equal to L by A. That is the point where L by A is equal to K by B. That means L is equal to A by B into K. So it is here. Okay. A by B into K. This is the point. After that, MPL is 0. Before that, MPL is up to this point, MPL is equal to 1 by A. Your problem from the MPL diagram.
Ma'am, can you please repeat the dotted line once more?
Yes, at the dotted line, L by A is equal to K by B. So L is equal to A by B into K. So it is here. This is the king point actually. From here, the curvature, the shape of the curve has changed.
Yes, ma'am, understood.
Anyone else? Okay. Now I am going to draw a PL curve. Again, when you are employing relatively lesser amount of labor, then your APL is also 1 by A. Fine. So this is here 1 by A, just like MPL curve. And there is a point of, there is a king point like A by B into K. It is here. Huh? It's just I cannot take that one, but it is A by B. This value of this point is A by B into K. Then after, what happened with your APL? Look, then after your APL is K by B into L. Now what is K? K is the amount of capital. It is fixed. B is also fixed. So APL is equal to a constant divided by labor. So I can say that APL into L is equal to constant. You get the point? I can write APL into L. That means I am taking labor from the right hand side to the left hand side. Okay. So APL into L, this L is equal to a constant up to this point. Is it okay? APL
Yes,
into
ma'am.
L.
And then rectangular hyperbola we should.
Exactly. Then it's a rectangular hyperbola. So that is why your APL is a rectangular hyperbola after this king point. So this is the shape of your APL curve. Initially, it's parallel to the horizontal axis. After this point, it is rectangular hyperbola. Any doubt
Mm,
from this slide?
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can we explain it in another way like that? APL equals to K by B divided by L. Here K by B is constant. So then when L increases, then APL falls. So the slope decreases.
Yes, yes, yes. That is actually the property of
Ye-
rectangular hyperbola.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any doubt from these two derivation? We are going to derive something more. The total product and the isoquant. These two are there in the next slide. Okay. So I'm going to the next one. Where is the next one? Yeah. Look, if L by A, now it is the total product. Huh? If L by A is less than equal to K by B, then Q is equal to L by A. We know that. And then Q is what? Q is the total product. So total product is equal to L by A if this condition is true. But if L by A is greater than K by B, then Q is equal to K by B. As within this K by B, there is no L and it is the total product with respect to labor. So we can say total product is constant for this condition. Okay. Again, the point of crux is here, A by B into K. Now look, we are going to draw the total product curve now. So on the vertical axis, total product, horizontal axis, labor as before. Now, before this A by B into K point, Q is equal to L by A. Now, 1 by A is constant, right? 1 by A is constant. So, if L is rising, then Q is rising by 1 by A proportion, because it's a constant. So, first of all, both are positively related. If L is rising, Q should rise. In which proportion? 1 by A proportion. So that is why it is starting from the origin, because if L is 0, then total product is also 0. If L is rising, Q is rising. So it's positively sloped 1. The slope is 1 by A. That is dQdL is 1 by A. So the slope is 1 by A. So up to this particular point, it is positively sloped. Then after, it is constant, because now Q is equal to K by B. So it's a constant. That is why parallel to the horizontal axis. So this is our total product curve. Any doubt from this slide?
No, ma'am, clear.
Anyone else? Any doubt from anyone else?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now, this is your isoquant. Now I have written the CRS production, the fixed coefficient production function. Simple. Q is equal to minimum of L by A, K by B. Now, L by A is equal to K by B. If it is, then Q is equal to L by A and Q is equal to K by B as well. If just they are equal to each other, then Q is equal to both. And in that case, MPL is equal to 1 by A and MPK is equal to 1 by B. Okay. Now look, so this is a particular point of quantity. We are going to draw the isoquant. Remember, we are going to draw isoquant. So L is equal to L by A is equal to K by B. This is just a point. At this point, Q is equal to L by A is equal to K by B. Say it is here. Okay. Okay. Now you have increased labor employment. Okay. That means L by A is greater than K by B now. Is it okay? From this point, you are going to employ more and more labor. Initially, this is the point where this inequality holds, like this. Any point in this area, say it is here. We are going to draw the curve. Okay, so this is here. From this point, you are going to employ more and more labor. That means now L by A is greater than K by B. Is it okay?
Ma'am, can you please repeat?
Yes. This L by A is equal to K by B, and so that Q is equal to L by A and Q is equal to K by B is just a point in this area. Do you agree with me with this point?
Yes, ma'am, agreed.
So say this point is here. Okay, say this point is here. Look at the cursor. This is the point. Okay. Given this point, I am going to employ more and more labor. Capital is constant. I am going to employ more and more labor. Okay, so the starting point is L by A is equal to K by B. When I am increasing labor, then L by A is greater than K by B.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
And if it is, then Q is equal to K by B, because Q will be minimum of these two.
Yes, ma'am.
As now L by A is greater than K by B, so Q is equal to K by B. Okay. And if Q is equal to K by B, then MPL is equal to 0.
Yes,
Is it
ma'am.
okay?
Hmm.
So for the total stretch from this point, any point to the right of this point, MPL is 0 because of this greater than problem. Okay. So if MPL is equal to 0, then what is the slope of your isoquant? Slope is minus of MPL by MPK. If MPL is 0, then what will be the slope?
0.
Zero.
Exactly, 0. So that means your isoquant is parallel to the horizontal axis. Okay, slope is
Yes,
0.
ma'am.
Now, just going to the other side. Again, I'm coming back to the origin, that is the L by A is equal to K by B. Now, labor is constant. I'm increasing capital. Hmm. So then Q is equal to L by A because Q is minimum of L by A and K by B. Now, L by A is less than K by B because I am increasing capital now. Okay. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Huh?
Then
Okay.
Q equals to K.
Exactly. Then Q is equal to L by A. In that case,
MPK
MPK
0.
will be 0. MPK will be 0 and the slope of the isoquant will be infinite. So it's parallel to the vertical axis. Okay. So what is the shape of your isoquant? It's L-shaped isoquant. It's the L-shaped isoquant. At this particular point, the slope is B by A because K by L is A by B. So this line, which is passing through origin and just intersecting all those key point, the slope is B by A. Other than that, either horizontal or vertical. So it's a L-shaped isoquant. So now you can understand when you will get L-shaped isoquant. It's similar to the L-shaped indifference curve. Okay, take your time, look at this slide and make clear concept. Any doubt you can ask.
Ma'am, at the corner points, the slope is B by A.
And yes, yes.
Okay, ma'am.
I don't know for recent years, but these questions used to come actually for fixed coefficient production function. Find out these and that. So this is actually taken from the university question paper.
Ma'am, is the question is like that with DRS or IRS, then what will be the procedure?
No, actually, fixed coefficient production function CRS is not coming because that then the production function will be very complicated. You can get the the general form of the fixed coefficient production function, that is a CRS production function, is in the Henderson and Quant. If you have this book Henderson and Quant, just check it. The general form of this type of production function is very complicated. So this type of production functions are coming generally.
Yes, ma'am. In second sem, we have the homogeneity, and there is a topic returns to scale. And for this SN, ma'am told us to read Henderson and Quant for this.
Yes, 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 it is there very well.
Yes, ma'am. There is a big description, and in that time we didn't understand at all because we didn't have any microeconomics concept then.
Yes, that is the problem of the semester system. Initially, it was not like that. When it was part one and part two, na, that means 2+1 system. That was the best. First 2 years, you have a complete knowledge about the eco math and micro macro. So it's a package. It's a good package. But now, as it is disaggregated, so that is why this thing is here, that thing is there, like this. But anyway, we have to follow uh, UGC norm. I'm not criticizing the norm, but that is the problem we are facing. Yeah.
Ma'am,
Yes.
will the answer be same for IRS and DRS?
No, definitely not.
And what will be the
Because weightage
difference?
will be there, okay? Because in that case, there will be weightage. L by A, K by B, here it is equal weightage because it is CRS. But if it is IRS, the weightages of labor and capital, these will be different. So that will be complicated one. But I don't think this question will come. Huh? That complication will come in the exam. If you get knowledge about the CRS fixed coefficient, this is enough.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, let me check. I don't know whether it will open or not. Yeah, it is opening. Good. Look, no, this is the cost. I'm sorry, this is the cost. We have not discussed cost yet. Just a minute. That is the problem. In case of production, the production cost as a whole questions are coming. Yes, this thing you can give the answer. No, 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 no. Yes, this is look. Suppose a chair manufacturer is producing in the short run when equipment is fixed. That means capital is fixed. The manufacturer has observed that as the number of laborers employed by him increases from 1 to 7, the number of chairs produced, that is the total product. Okay. So you can find out the marginal product 1 to 7. Does the production function exhibit diminishing returns to labor? That you have to check. Huh? You have just make a table in your copy. Look at the question, make a table in your copy. On the one side it will be the amount of laborer 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and on another side the total product 10 18 24 28 30 28 25. So marginal product is falling, look, 30 to 28, then 25. So then find out the marginal product. That is 18 minus 10, 24 minus 18, 28 minus 24, 30 minus 28, 28 minus 30, that is minus 2, 25 minus 28, that is minus 3. So this is how another column. And by showing this table, you give the answer from the data. It is very much clear the production function exhibiting diminishing returns to labor because marginal product is falling continuously. Initially it is, the gap is 8, then it's 4, right? Yeah, 6, then 4, then 2, then minus 2, then minus 3. So marginal product is continuously falling. So the table will show you that the production function is following diminishing returns to labor. Okay, so first question is done. 3 marks question. Look at the second question. Has the marginal product of labor ever been negative in the production function? What might cause such negativity? First of all, in your given example, the marginal product is negative, right? And in general it may be negative. Why it is? As I said, if what is the economic significance of negative marginal product of labor? It means that I'm going to employ more and more labor and my total quantity production is falling. Okay? So dq/dl is negative. So if L is positive, then Q is negative, right? So that means why it is so, that is the question actually. What might cause such negativity? That may be because of the congestion in the production unit. You have employed a lot of labor already, so that may create the congestion in the economy, They are struggling to uh, for the workplace. They are struggling to get the machine and all this. So that is why productivity may fall. Okay. Can you up to question number 2? Is it okay?
Ma'am, when the topic congestion in the production unit is rises, is it related to the disguised unemployment like that?
Yes, sort of, sort of.
Okay.
So look at any other problem up to 1 and 2. Okay, now I'm going to the question number 3. Can you identify the type of returns to scale the following production function exhibits? So a particular production function is given to you where Q is the output, L is the labor, K is the capital. Then how can you do that? Give me the idea. I have done one thing in my class. You have to identify the type of returns to scale. I did it for the Cobb Douglas production function. So here it is not Cobb Douglas. How can you find out the pattern of the returns to scale? Make a try and give me the answer. I'm waiting. It's only 2 marks, very short question.
Ma'am,
Yes?
ma'am, first we have to multiply the each factor, that is labor and capital, with lambda. Then it will be the q prime equals to 3 lambda L plus 2 lambda K. Then lambda within bracket 3 L plus 2 K. Then it will be lambda Q. That means it's a constant returns to scale.
Very good. Very good. It's CRS. It's CRS. So you can get another information if the production function is like this. This is what? This is a equation for the straight line, right? This is a straight line equation. If the production function is like this, the straight line equation sort of thing, then it is CRS. There is no square, no cube, no square root, nothing is there. Simple. So in that case, it is CRS. It will be CRS. This is another idea. Okay. So let me go to the next one. This is cost. I cannot do that here. Uh, Short run average. Actually, cost questions are very common. The average product, yes, look at this. The average product of labor when 3 workers farm an acre of land is 150 bushels of wheat, and the marginal product when fourth worker is employed is 75 bushels. Acha. Average product is 150 bushels when there are 3 workers, and the fourth worker is here. So the marginal product of the fourth worker is 75 bushels. What is the total output with 4 workers? Give me the answer. It's very easy. Average product with 3 workers is 150 bushels. The marginal product of the fourth worker is 75 bushels. Then what is the total output with 4 workers? Very simple mathematics, school level mathematics. Do it and give me the answer.
Ma'am, it will be 5 to 5.
Is how you have done this?
Ma'am, APL equals to 150. That means TPL by L equals to 450. Here L is 3, ma'am. So TPL equals to 450, ma'am,
Okay.
150 into 3.
Yes,
And
yes.
ma'am, MPL equals to 75. That means del TPL by del L equals to 75. So ma'am, we have to add this 75 with 450.
450. Yeah, exactly. That is the simple thing. 450 plus 75. That will be the total output.
Yes, ma'am.
450 plus 75 divided by 4, that will be the average product of the 4 workers.
Yes, ma'am.
Question 2 is not its cost. Question 3, C3. This part I have already said. If the straight line equation is there, then it's CRS. So obviously, this is the returns to scale for this production function is CRS. What about B? If Q is equal to 50, K to the power zero point 0.3 and L to the power zero point 0.5, then what will be the
Ma'am,
returns to scale? Yes.
ma'am, decreasing return to scale.
DRS, ma'am.
Exactly. Because alpha plus beta is less than 1. Zero point 0.3 plus zero point 0.5. So it will be 5, 6, 7, 8. 0.8. Less than 1. So it's DRS. You can not in this way. This is the short way. I just give you the answer. But when you are going to do that, as the full marks is 2, for each marks is 1, you have to multiply with lambda and all that. Hmm. Okay. Consider a production function Q is equal to 150 L, where Q is the total output, L is the quantity of labor employed. How does total product curve look like? Bolo to? 2 marks question. Total product curve.
Ma'am, straight line passing through origin.
Exactly. Ekdam, ekdam. Through origin straight line. Because if L is 0, Q is 0. So it will start from origin. If L is rising, then Q is also rising. The fixed proportion of 150. So it's a straight line passing through origin. Upward rising straight line passing through origin. Now what about average product?
Ma'am, it will be horizontal line.
Exactly. It's 150. So constant. Q by L is 150. So it's a constant parallel to the horizontal axis. And marginal product?
Ma'am, it is also horizontal line.
And one is on another. Okay, one is imposed on another because both are 150.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
what is your average product is your marginal product curve. Okay, that's next one. You cannot. Government intervention, no. Yeah, another question. Now tell me, returns to scale for this production function.
CRS.
Yeah. Zero point 0.6 plus zero point 0.4, so it's 1. It's CRS. Cobb Douglas production function with CRS. Okay, it's done. This thing is done. What it is? Yes. This is from model question paper. I don't know whether you have model question paper with you or not. So this is from model question paper. An employer should never hire another worker if the new person causes diminishing return. Is the statement correct? Read the question very carefully. Question number 1.
Ma'am, only if the MPL is not negative, then the employer can employ that
Right.
worker.
Very good. Exactly. Diminishing return means it's okay. We can accept it, provided MPL is positive. If diminishing return and MPL is negative, then we should not go there. Diminishing return means MPL is downward sloping. Yes. In stage 2, MPL is downward sloping. So there is no problem with that. But if it is downward sloping and negative, then obviously this is rejected. Now the next part, can you do that? No, no. For that you need iso cost actually. That is why I'm saying no. Mm. Suppose that constant returns to scale level all long and average cost. No. Fixed cost. All questions are from the cost. Diminishing returns to productivity is associated with an increase in marginal product of a commodity. Can you give answer of 4B? True, false, uncertain. Huh? Diminishing returns to productivity is associated with an increasing marginal product of a commodity. Is it possible? Diminishing returns to productivity is associated with increasing marginal product of a commodity. No, you cannot give the answer. This is cost. Actually, I'm sorry. This is from cost. Yeah. Look at 7. In the short run, the producer will avoid producing in the region where marginal product of labor is positive. Do you agree with that?
Ma'am, in this situation, one MPL is greater than APL, but when the L rises, then also MPL falls. So
You
the
are giving answer of question 7.
yes, ma'am, MPL is positive in the region
Okay, okay,
situation.
this one. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am, MPL is positive. So we indicate here for the situation one, and ultimately the producer is pushes to produce on the region two, where MPL is starts falling than
But
APL.
positive.
Yes, ma'am, but positive exactly. Uh,
So this statement is partially correct.
yes, ma'am, partial.
Hmm. So it's actually incomplete. The sentence you can say it's incomplete. The producer will avoid producing in the region where marginal product is positive. It is not always true. If marginal product is positive in first region, then producer will avoid. But if marginal product is positive and it is stage 2, that means diminishing, in that case, producer will not avoid. So it's conditional.
Ma'am,
Yes?
ma'am, can you repeat these 7 question once
Yes,
more?
yes. Yes. Producer will avoid producing in the region where marginal product of labor is positive. Marginal product of labor is positive. It is not like marginal product curve is positively sloped, negatively sloped. No, it's only marginal product is positive. So in the region 1, in stage 1, marginal product is positive and it is rising, right? APL and MPL both are rising in stage 1. But not rising always, MPL is also falling. But as APL is rising in stage 1 and MPL is positive, but we are not interested to be in stage 1. But in stage 2, MPL is positive and it is falling, and producers will be in stage 2. So it's better to say that marginal product curve is negative, then producer will be in stage, and it is stage 2, then producer will be in the production, product will produce. But in stage 1, where marginal product is positive but average product is less than marginal product, in that region producer will avoid. Okay, look at this now. Can I draw? Hey baba, it's like that. I don't know. No, I cannot do that here. How can I close? Okay, close. Yeah. I cannot draw here. But try to remember the MPL APL curve. You can understand that marginal product positive doesn't always mean the producer will avoid producing. Marginal product is positive and stage 1, then he will avoid. Marginal product is positive and it is stage 2, then producer will not avoid. It is not positively sloped, the value is positive. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, if the producer avoids producing in stage one, then how will he go to stage two?
No, actually, he is not avoiding. He cannot stay there. Stage one is forcing the producer to be in stage two. So as stage one is unstable, you cannot stay there. That is why producer is not interested to go in stage one. You cannot fix your production in stage one. They are always forcing you to go to stage two.
Yes, ma'am.
No stability is there in stage one. That is why, as it is unstable, obviously stability is another requirement. This is the sufficient condition of equilibrium. So as stability is not there, producers are trying to avoid stage one as well. Okay, so let me go to the uh, which I have uploaded. Maybe some questions are common. Just a minute. Give me some time. No, where it is. Hmm. Okay, I have some other question. Just a minute. Look, can you see the screen? Can
Yes,
you see
ma'am.
the screen? Okay, fine. So first question is not. Yes, this is the question, but not from production. This is a two-period analysis, today and tomorrow. What is the present value of the lifetime income? Draw the intertemporal budget line. It is from some earlier units. Now we discussed in SEM3, but not now. The second question we discussed, decompose the effect of relative price into income and substitution. Two goods are perfect substitute. No. Bibhu is first and foremost interested in tea. No, this is from consumer behavior. No, nothing from here. Only this question I discussed. Actually, this is the same set. This is a full question paper, and initially I showed whatever I showed to you. This is the part. So nothing new with me now. I discussed all the questions which I have.
Ma'am, the questions which you have discussed, is it in the LMS?
Yes, yes, I have uploaded just before your class.
Okay, ma'am. We will check.
Look, I have another question 2020 that may not be in this I discussed. Anyway, I'm going to discuss question of 2020.
Ma'am, you are not audible.
Ma'am, you are mute mode.
Okay, I'm sorry. Now am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Look, question C.
Ma'am, can you please zoom it a little more?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now look. Question A, you cannot give the answer. It's a long run supply curve, perfect competition. Question B, each extra worker produces an extra unit of output up to the 6 workers. After 6, no additional output is produced. Draw the total product and marginal product curves. So up to 6, the total product curve is upward rising and it's a straight line, 1 unit increase. Okay, so the change is fixed. So total product is constant, sorry, it's increasing at the constant rate, so it's a straight line. Then after it will be parallel to the horizontal axis. And regarding marginal product, up to sixth worker marginal product is 1, then after marginal product is 0. So mpl curve is initially parallel to the horizontal axis for the vertical value of 1, and then after just it will drop to the horizontal axis and it will be the horizontal axis because marginal product will be 0. Okay, step type of thing. Marginal product curve will be a step diagram. Define the short run in the context of production. Question B and C, these two are clear. Short run to short run in case of production, the short run means at least one factor of production must be fixed.
Yes, ma'am.
The short run. It's 2 marks question, short question. So question B and C, any problem from question B and C?
No, ma'am.
Okay. State the range between which the marginal rate of technical substitution vary as we move along the L-shaped isoquant. State the range, the number y. State the range, okay. State the range between which the marginal rate of technical substitution vary as we move along the L-shaped isoquant. Look, there is no range. Huh? It's only a line. As I showed you that b by a. Okay, it's a line. There is no, actually they are asking marginal rate of technical substitution. That means they're asking about the ridge lines. Hmm. So there is no such range. As it is L-shaped isoquant, there is a particular ridge line along which your before that MPL is 0, after that your MPK is 0. Okay, so there is no such line. That is why there is no range. State the range, so the answer will be there will be no range. And for y, then you have to explain the how the MPL and MPK are changing along the L shape. That fixed coefficient production function I have shown you now, L shaped isoquant.
Yes, ma'am. Today.
Uh,
Ma'am,
yes,
ma'am, can you repeat this part?
yes. For L shaped isoquant, actually the question is asking about the economic zone of production, right? So to distinguish the economic zone of production, you need two ridge lines, right? Uh, in between this ridge line, the area is called the economic zone of production. But here, as it is L-shaped isoquant, if you are going to the horizontal stretch of your L, then MPL is 0. Along the vertical stretch, your MPK is 0. So there is no such economic zone. It's only a point, the king point of the isoquant, the L-shaped isoquant, which is giving you the economic. If you call it that zone, then it's okay. It is only the economic zone. There is no range. It's just a point. The zone is converted to a single point, the king point of the isoquant, where you can produce. You cannot produce on the horizontal stretch. You cannot produce on the vertical stretch, because these are all under the non-economic zone of production. Okay. So the state the range, so there is no range. It's only a point. Then y? For y portion, you have to give the answer that along the horizontal stretch, it is MPL 0. For vertical, MPK is 0. So both sections are non-economic zone of production. The economic zone of production is just at the point, the king point of the L-shaped isoquant. That will be your answer. Is it okay? Is it okay now?
Ma'am, technical substitution.
You are not clearly audible. Tell me again. Your network is a problem.
Ma'am, the marginal. Oh, yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the marginal rate of technical substitution. Oh,
Yes, marginal rate of technical substitution is what? MPL by MPK. So along the economic zone of production, your MRTS is positive. For the non-economic zone of production, that means either below the ridge line or above the ridge line, where your MPL is 0 or MPK is 0 and or rather negative, in that region, MRTS, that is marginal rate of technical substitution, is becoming positive. Okay.
ma'am, in the economic zone, it is positive, and in the zone, it is negative.
Yes, yes. In the non-economic zone, they are negative.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Okay, labor supply you cannot do. Lottery ticket you can make a try of this. This is the this as this is available in LMS. Make a try of answering this question I, because this is the from chapter uncertainty. The expected value that you have to find out whether you have to buy the lottery. Just make a try. Acha. Competitive market, you don't know what is competition. Risk lover, how can you relate a risk lover with a fair gamble? This is uncertainty. Utility function is there. Calculate last Pierce index. Look, one last Pierce index question is there. Now look, question M. Determine the marginal rate of marginal rate of technical substitution of upper and lower ridge line. Yes, this is your question. Look, marginal rate of technical substitution of upper and lower ridge line. For upper ridge line, MPK is 0. So marginal rate of technical substitution is infinite. Along the lower ridge line, MPL is 0. So MRTS is equal to 0. Okay. In stage 2 of the production process, the marginal productivity of both fixed and variable factor is positive. Obviously, fixed factor is not an important issue here because it's fixed. So marginal productivity of the fixed factor is 0. And for the variable factor, it is definitely positive. Otherwise, it will not be the stage 2.
Ma'am, can you please repeat the answer of N? I didn't get that.
Yes. In stage 2, the production process, the marginal productivity of both fixed. What is the fixed factor? Capital. Now, as it is the second, stage 2 production process means is the short run. So, in the short run, you are fixed. It is fixed. So, you know it is fixed. So, marginal productivity of the fixed factor is zero. There is no change in the fixed factor production. K is constant. So, MPK is zero for the short run. So, obviously, it is not negative. And for the variable factor, it should be positive. It's downward sloping marginal product of labor, but it is positive. So this is your stage 2. So both are non-negative, we should say. Marginal
Yes, ma'am.
productivity of both the factors should be non-negative. You cannot do this thing. Uh, okay. Look, question number B. In the short run, a firm cannot vary its capital K is equal to 2, but can vary its labor. It produces output Q. Explain why the firm will not experience diminishing marginal returns to labor in the short run if the production function is this. Explain Koro. This is your question. I discussed a lot. Question B1. This is your task. Do it. 2 marks question.
Ma'am, here for Q equals to 10L plus K, when we deduce the MPL, then Q by DL, then it is equals to 10, which is constant.
Yes. Whereas MPL is constant, so it is not diminishing marginal return to labor, right? This is
Yes, ma'am.
anything else? Anyone want to add with this answer? Yes, that will be the answer.
Ma'am,
Yes?
ma'am, because for diminishing marginal returns to labor, first means at some point it MPL must be zero, but is for this production function, I think it cannot be zero MPL.
MPL, why MPL should be 0?
And because first MPL increases, then it becomes zero, then decrease.
Yes, so why you are interested about the maximum MPL? Where it is 0. The slope of MPL is 0, not MPL is 0.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So here the question is, if the production function is like this, there is no diminishing marginal returns to labor. Why? Because the marginal labor is constant. MPL is constant. That is why you cannot diminish it. As it is a parameter, how can you change it? So that is why there is no diminishing marginal return to labor.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Natasha's utility function, risk premium, fixed production cost. No, no question from production only. Oh, what is that? Long line equilibrium, perfect competition. No. So many questions are there from um, intertemporal choice or from uncertainty. Just check it in your LMS and solve it. Okay. Anything else you want to know from me? As this is the last class before the puja. Whatever question you have, from any textbook or from anywhere else, try to solve it. That means I am asking you to make the practice. Otherwise, after 1 month, everything will be, you have to start from zero level. So this is not desired. It's better to practice. Just make practice. So many things will be clear for you. Where is
Ma'am,
my yes?
ম্যাম বলছিলাম যে মানে পরের দিকে মানে ডাউট থাকলে সেটা কি আপনাকে ইমেলে পাঠাবো?
ইমেলে করতে পারো, তুমি গ্রুপে লিখতে পারো।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা।
কিন্তু আমার মেশিনটা হ্যাং করে গেছে, আমি কিছুতেই বেরোতে পারছি না। হুম, where is my cursor? If done, then you can leave, huh? Because I right now I cannot do that, stop recording and everything. If it is done, you can leave. Cross. I think I should wait for some time. If you're done, just leave. I will stop the recording and then I will share.